Hey guys, Chelsea here. We're going to go over a basic hip mobility routine. Some few stretches here that I pretty much do every day to ensure that my hips stay open and also injury free. I have Super Dave here to help me, and let's get started. So we're gonna have our left leg forward. I'm gonna line my hands up with my foot. Okay, a few things to think about here. Again, as I said, fingertips lining up with your foot. Make sure this foot is pointed forward. Usually what happens when your hips are tight is that the foot will tend to come out to the side. But remember, we're trying to be more corrective here, so we're going to put the foot into neutral. He's going to base his foot down into the floor, but at the same time, his knee is going to be coming out, working to kind of open up right into that hip crease. As we come along the back here, your toes are going to be posted up. See the angle we're creating? My knee is directly over my ankle, and my knee is pulled back enough so that I have this nice, like, almost triangle shape with his hip coming down towards the ground. If you're feeling a little bit more on the tighter side, what you can do is you can place your hands there on the yoga block. So see, it just gives you some extra height. So you can release that, put that down. So now Dave is going to come down towards his elbow. That side. We're going to base our weight into this right elbow. From here, this foot, he's going to flex his foot, working to create tension. Flex your foot, spread your toes. You're going to balance here on your pinky toe side. So see, that's going to let the knee drop. His left hand here is going to come on the inside of his knee, and he's going to give it a little push. Remember what we talked about with our shoulder video? We're going to pull our shoulders back. The head's going to pull back. Crown of the head reaching forward as he puts his body into extension. With here, each exhale, he's going to give himself some resistance to open up that hip crease, putting the hip into external rotation. The weight is on this right elbow, and the weight there is on the outside of the foot. Again, remembering to keep tension in that foot. Usually what happens is that the toe will become sleepy and you won't be flexing it. From here, he's going to come up towards his hand again. The foot's going to base flat on the left side. So come up towards your hand. The left arm here is going to reach back towards his right foot. Big inhale, he's going to reach. Usually what I like to do though, I'll do thumb side up. There, so you can get a little bit more with the shoulder. Same idea here, thinking about the shoulder pulling back, head extending back, chest pulling forward. Even though this foot is flat now, press the foot flat, that energy of the knee is still always coming out to the side. Where are you feeling this here?
In my quad.
In the quad, groin, hip flexors. Good. So from there, release. We're going to meet on our stomach. So come down here. Let's lie on our stomach. On your elbows, like a sphinx. So when in this position here, again, same principle apply with the elbows. Let's see how he's collapsing. So come up towards your elbows. Pull your chest through. Shoulder blades retract. Head always reaching forward. We're going to take our hands a little wider. The legs, they can go a little wider too if you're on the tighter side. We're going to shift the weight over to the right elbow. From there, you're going to bend. He's going to bend his left knee, and he's going to reach for his foot. So I make a joke, this is my toe hold stretch. So at first progression, he's going to grab his foot. Always again, thinking about that shoulder pulling back, trying to keep the hips as even as possible. What this foot here does on the other side, it pushes into the floor. You can keep your toes rolled under. And remember, the glutes act as hip extensors, or they extend the hips. So he's always squeezing his butt, keeping his core nice and strong to feel safe. All right, so from here, if you can, again, this is an advanced variation, he's going to take the base of his palm, rotate it toward the top of his foot, and with a nice long exhale, he's going to see if he can bend his arm and pull his foot down in towards his butt. Sometimes to stretch out my toes and the top of my ankle, I'll keep my hand here over on the tops of the toes, and see, it's almost like you can kind of force them to point and really get this nice and open here. Okay, just always be conscious of the knee. This is extreme knee flexion. And notice here too, look what's happening there in his arm. Again, keep strong in the upper body. Pull yourself up. Good, nice strong core. From there, slowly release. Lie on your stomach again. We're going to pull up into a Superman. You know what a Superman is? You're going to lie on your stomach. You're going to reach your hands back behind you. You're just going to lift your upper body and you're going to lift your legs off the ground. So this is our Superman exercise. This is prepping us for a cobra pose. Again, notice what's happening. There's a lot of tension in the legs. Feet pointing backwards, glutes squeezing, core active, upper back firing. He's going to place his hands down onto the mat, 90 degrees. So before you hop into your cobra, just be cautious of this angle here. Feet on the ground. You can use your toes rolled under if you would like. A little bit more strength in the legs. Otherwise, traditional yoga always has the tops of the feet pressing down. Big inhale, lift up, cobra pose. So the arms don't necessarily need to straighten. We're going to keep the elbows hugging in tight. Shoulder blades pulling down the back, creating extension here in the front of the chest. Head reaching down as much as you can. If you ever feel any compression here, it's usually because your traps are elevated. That's why I always say retract your shoulder blades. Glutes again act as extensors of the hips. So he's firing here, and he's all the tension there, the rest of his legs. You can come back down. And then from there, press back, child's pose. Knees nice and wide. Child's pose, beautiful. Always a nice little finisher there for our hip mobility. You can slowly come out. So remember, try to hold each position